What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Last time, we saw what happened in the latter half of the Saiyan saga, with Vegeta and Nappa finally getting to Earth. Luckily, our heroes were able to come out victorious. It was a hard fought battle, but their skills and power helped them come out on top. However, we left off on a little predicament. Vegeta is still alive, and the group is debating whether or not to spare him. We'll see what they decide in this part. For this video, let's set a like goal of 3,500 likes. Once we hit that, I'll continue with another part of this series. Anyways, let's pick up from here. After hearing Vegeta's tale about Frieza, the group begins considering. They don't really know what they should do here. Vegeta could just be pulling their leg, but he seems really serious about it. And I mean, think about it too. Vegeta lost here, and he's in a pretty bad state right now. If he was lying, well, they could just defeat him again and kill him that time. Vegeta knows what spot he's in. He wouldn't really have any reason to lie. This is his last bargaining chip, the only way he could actually survive. Goku decides for everyone, thinking that it might be best to show Vegeta some mercy. Not because he forgives Vegeta or anything, but because he knows that he's telling the truth. He listens to his intuition and tells everyone the same. They're not too sure either, but they'll go with his word. Plus, everything they discussed before makes them feel more confident. If Vegeta does lash out somehow, they can always win again. Especially because he'll be alone this time, and more injured. Here's the thing too, Vegeta lost his tail in that fight, meaning he can no longer turn into a great ape if he wants to. He thinks it might regenerate if he keeps healing, but that's not actually going to happen this time. We saw this with the Namek arc where it didn't actually grow back. So, it's going to be the same here. Vegeta is also in a pretty bad shape right now. I mean, he was almost beaten to death. So he's not in any condition to fight. It's going to take a lot of time for him to heal, but at least he has some good medical technology on Earth. Sure, it won't be as fast as his healing pods back on Frieza's planet, but at least it's something. They try and get more info about him, and Vegeta begins telling more about Frieza. He tells them training would be good either way. If they choose, they can go right for Frieza and kill him after training. Or they could just do it as a precaution. I mean, it's not like they were going to stop training anyways, but this serves as better motivation. Plus, Vegeta has some better ideas for how they could train. Earth's gravity is kinda weak in comparison. It's only a tenth of what the gravity on planet Vegeta was, which explains why Goku grew up so weak. Well, weak in comparison to Vegeta, not weak in comparison to everyone else. He feels they would benefit from gravity training, especially the Saiyans. Obviously, they don't really have any way of doing that right now, but Bulma could help. She proposes a room that increases the gravity around everyone while they're training, making it so that they're heavier in that room. Oh, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. They go along with that, waiting for Bulma to finish this device. Vegeta is giving them tips and more info about Frieza, but he's still cautious though. He's wondering, how did Chi-Chi get here? Clearly there were a handful of Saiyans off planet Vegeta at the time that it exploded. But this is weird. 2 Saiyans on the same planet. He knows that Kakarot was sent here, that's what Raditz told him. But Chi-Chi? Where did she come from? He decides to question them. Even though Kakarot may not remember his Saiyan past, maybe Chi-Chi knows something. Vegeta asks and Goku jumps in lying, saying they're not sure how she got here. He finds it odd that both of them don't have their memories. I mean, Kakarot has an excuse, but Chi-Chi doesn't really have one. Goku continues lying and is eventually able to convince Vegeta. Chi-Chi's wondering why he did this, but then realizes it's because they don't want Vegeta knowing about the Dragon Balls, at least not yet. He doesn't really need to know, and if they know that Chi-Chi wished to be a Saiyan, well, he might be pretty mad about that. They obviously don't know for sure, but it's better not to take that risk. Goku was looking out for her to make sure that this wouldn't happen, helping her formulate some sort of lie for Vegeta. As Vegeta continues healing, everyone starts their training once the gravity chamber is made. It surprisingly didn't take that long for Bulma to make it, which is good because they can start training right away. The humans have a tough time at first, but they eventually get acclimated to it. As for the Saiyans, Goku, Chi-Chi, and Gohan, it's a lot easier. They are already pretty strong, and they grow remarkably fast in there. Piccolo seems to adjust pretty well to it too. He's stronger than the humans after all, and he's familiar with harsh training. That's kind of his whole thing. So, what did they decide to do about Frieza? Well, what Vegeta said convinced them. They're training as a precaution. They have no idea where his planet is or if he's even there. And even if they did, they'd have no way to get there. And on top of that, even if they could get there, they don't know how strong this guy is. He could be way stronger than Vegeta's letting on, because Vegeta doesn't even know his full power either. So not only is it a massive feat right now to overcome, but it's pretty risky too. There's so many variables that they can't account for, and so many unknowns that they don't know yet. But hey, training as a precaution is good. If Frieza doesn't come to Earth, well, great, they're stronger by default. And if he does, they'll be prepared. Although they don't really know what they're preparing for. But whatever, it's better to get more rigorous training nonetheless. So, what is Frieza doing? Well, he does assume Vegeta's dead, because he doesn't return. Of course, Frieza wouldn't really care either way. Vegeta's dead? Great, he didn't really like that guy anyways. But still, if someone was strong enough to kill him, well, that could be a problem in the future. I mean, whoever killed Vegeta and his two Saiyan friends, well, they did Frieza a favor. 3 less Saiyans in the universe, but it gets him thinking. Who could be so strong to do this, especially in such a planet that he's never heard of? He begins researching, trying to figure out where Vegeta went and what happened. And luckily he has a pretty good source, that being Qui, Vegeta's natural rival. The two do hate each other a lot, so Qui does this to spite Vegeta, giving Frieza whatever information he wants. Although, he doesn't really know that much himself, but it's more than enough to help Frieza. He begins working, trying to find out whatever planet Vegeta went to, and trying to find out what even is on there. Obviously he doesn't know about the Dragon Balls either. Really, he's more interested in the fighters there. If there's such strong people on that planet, it might be pretty valuable. After all, with people so strong, they might be defending something pretty valuable. Even better, if Frieza decides not to kill them, he can enslave them. More people for his army, strong soldiers too. Either way, it could be useful. No one on Earth knows if or when Frieza will come, as I mentioned before. So, a few months pass, their training continues, and eventually, Vegeta's fully healed, now training with everyone. He got a nice boost in power from healing, although it did take a long time. Him almost dying actually did help. They're eventually able to get him a Senzu Bean once they trust him enough, speeding up that healing process and letting him train with them. He gets a pretty nice boost from his Saiyan power. And you might think Goku, Chi-Chi, and Gohan would benefit from that too, but not really. They're not training near death after all. They're training pretty rigorously, but not that rigorously. They are aware of this Saiyan power though, but since healing resources are so sparse, well, they're not going to really take the risk and abuse it. Maybe if they find a better way to heal, but that's further down the line. Right now they're focused on this training, but this boost in power for Vegeta lets him jump in right away. And let's actually cover some powers after these few months pass. Goku and Chi-Chi are about even. I mean, they are training at the same rate, and with the same partners, using the same strategies and all. They're both at a power of 1.5 million each. Vegeta's close behind them. His boost in power really did help him, plus his training was pretty intense too, allowing him to incorporate really good strategies that he's used before for training, putting him up at a power of 1 million. Right behind him is Gohan, at around 900,000. As we covered, he has much more of a fighting spirit this time, plus both of his parents are encouraging him to train, so he'll be training here. His growth as a hybrid Saiyan really helps as well. Piccolo's behind him at 800,000. Next, we have Tenshinhan at 500,000, followed by Krillin at 450,000, and Yamcha at 400,000. Obviously they didn't benefit from this as much as the Saiyans, but still, gravity training really helped them. They're way stronger than they were in the original series, and I don't think I have to tell you guys that that's really good. The reason we're doing this short time skip though is because Frieza eventually finds Earth in this time. After all his research, he found out where Vegeta went to and where it's located. Maybe people aren't really that strong there. I mean, if they were, Vegeta probably would have called for help, meaning he was probably confident about fighting everyone. Frieza doesn't really want to bother himself right now, so he sends some ships to Earth. Zarbon and Dodoria should be enough. They're fine soldiers, and they'll be more than enough to take on any Earthlings. The 2 of them are sent to the planet first. Kui goes along too, just to see if Vegeta's actually dead. Imagine if they find him alive somehow. That would be pretty funny. The 3 of them go there, descending on Earth. They don't want to make too much noise just yet, so they use their scouter searching around, and they find one strong power in a wasteland nearby. Going towards it and realizing that it's Vegeta. Vegeta knew that they were arriving. He sensed them in outer space and powered up to draw them out. Now he actually knows how to sense ki and control his ki. Pretty useful because he has them alone. He turns to Kui, asking if this was all his doing. Kui laughs and confirms this, as Vegeta slowly lifts one of his fingers up, launching a beam that kills Kui instantly. Zarbon and Dodoria are surprised. Sure, he wasn't as strong as them, but still, Vegeta killed him in one shot.
So it's you! I see.
They begin questioning Vegeta, asking how he's still alive and why he's here, but Vegeta doesn't answer. He tells them he doesn't need to. They ask him again, saying they'll just kill him if he doesn't say anything, and blow up this planet in the process. Well, Vegeta accepts playing like that. He lifts up his hand once again, blasting off their scouters. And the 2 of them go into fight, with Zarbon even transforming. As they get closer, Vegeta chuckles, sticking out one hand at each of them, and with a single blast charge in each, he eradicates both of them. Just as Frieza expected, this might be trouble, and even more interesting, Vegeta's still alive and apparently a lot stronger. This might require some more special forces. Frieza sends some forces into Earth, as well as setting up a temporary base on the moon so he can operate from there. If he really feels like it, he'll just blow up Earth with a single finger. But he may as well try this first. He sends in the Ginyu Force next. And since Vegeta already had his fun, the humans decide they want to fight this time. Vegeta informs them of the Ginyu Force's strategies, and they take it into account. The Ginyu Force are a lot louder once they arrive on Earth, actually attacking a city instead. In order to draw out any fighters, the humans arrive at the city, stopping this attack really quickly. And right away, they make pretty quick work of the Ginyu Force. They know Goldo's time stop is a threat, so they kill him first. Then going after Jason Birder, and finally Riku, but they quickly come to learn of Ginyu's body change. Using his scouter, he's able to find out which of them is the strongest, that being Ten Shinhan, stealing his body, and injuring his previous one in the process. They're not too sure what to do right now, but Yamcha steps in, deciding he'll fight. He knows all Ten Shinhan's moves, and it seems Ginyu got pretty weak after switching bodies, not being able to use Ten's full power. He fills Krillin on his plan, and Krillin agrees. Yamcha begins fighting. Being able to keep up with Ginyu pretty easily, Krillin comes in too, lending some support. And they're able to beat Ginyu up pretty badly, but not killing him in order to preserve the body. The whole point of this is to try and put him in a corner, and as you'd expect, it does push him into a corner, forcing him to swap bodies once again, just as they planned. As he does this, they throw Ginyu's old body upwards, returning the bodies back to their normal owners, and killing Ginyu as soon as they have the chance. Ten's back in his original body, and it is injured quite a bit, but otherwise he's okay. Yamcha and Krillin lead him away so they can go patch him up. And now with the Ginyu force defeated, there's only one other possible person that can come attack Earth. Frieza finally arrives, realizing that his forces are outmatched. He was watching from that temporary base on the moon, and yeah, he could have blown up Earth really easily, but it didn't really seem that fun. He hasn't had a chance to fight in a while, and it would be pretty fun to personally kill Vegeta and all his friends. Plus, he doesn't really want to stay on this moon any longer. There was some weird rabbit guy living on here. Don't worry, Frieza's gonna kill him. Anyways, Frieza goes to Earth, and the group's actually pretty surprised. He's a lot smaller than they expected, but Vegeta obviously knows what he looks like. Vegeta eggs Frieza on, ready to fight. The group feels pretty confident. In his first form, Frieza's not really that strong in comparison. Piccolo fights him and gets the upper hand really quickly, forcing Frieza to go into his second form. Vegeta joins in, forming an alliance with Piccolo. They did train a bit together, and their personalities kinda did mesh in this scenario, so they're kinda pals. Also, a Vegeta and Piccolo team up is really cool and we don't really see it that much, so I'm taking the chance here. I'd be crazy not to. Anyways, they fight Frieza together, even forcing him into his third form. Frieza's surprised. He knew they were strong, but not this strong. He should be the one on top. This is an insult to him, if anything. Whatever, he still has one more form up his sleeve, going into his fourth form, his true and final form. This is where things get a lot trickier. Now, it can't just be Vegeta and Piccolo fighting. Everyone else jumps in too. Frieza's outnumbered, but not at all overpowered. The group intervenes right away, not spending any time talking to him. It's a pretty intense fight as you expect, but even with everyone involved, Frieza's just simply too strong. Since Vegeta is his main target after all, and the one person that he hates most in this group, he decides to attack Vegeta first. He launches a beam at Vegeta, going right through him, gravely injuring the prince. He weakly props himself up, telling the group he'll survive, just wanting them to kill Frieza and not focus on him. Yamcha and Ten are in the fight because they're still healing from their fight with the Ginyu Force. But Krillin's here and he decides to take Vegeta away in order to protect him. Frieza almost launches another beam right at Krillin, but Goku then comes in and punches Frieza, knocking him right towards Chi-Chi, who kicks him. Ah, so this is the problem. There were two more Saiyans on Earth, and coincidentally, male and female, and they had a child. Disgusting. He can't let these Saiyans live any longer. They're procreating. The thought of these monkeys doing that sickens him. The group's equally weirded out. Why is Frieza so obsessed with Saiyans doing that? What a freak, is that all he thinks about? Jokes aside, the fight continues. And even with their great power-ups with training, there's still not enough to defeat Frieza. Piccolo ends up getting injured next, leaving just Goku, Chi-Chi, and Gohan. Frieza goes for Goku first, knocking the other two away and purposefully beating up Goku. Goku tries to fight back, but he can't. Frieza's simply too strong. Even though they did train as a precaution, it wasn't enough. Goku actually chuckles a bit. Vegeta was right, but even with Vegeta's help, they still weren't able to win. Although he's not going to accept defeat right yet, he continues trying to fight back, even though it's fruitless. Frieza's suddenly hit in the back of the head by a powerful attack from Gohan. He's angered by watching Goku get beat up, and in this temporary state of rage with his boost in power, Gohan attacks Frieza. Frieza fends him off at first, but Gohan eventually gets some good hits in. He doesn't know what happened. Sure, this kid's a Saiyan and all, but how is a kid so strong? Whatever, he seems like a pest anyways. Frieza decides to just kill him on the spot, not holding back at all. As Gohan continues to punch Frieza, Frieza then grabs him by his hair, throwing Gohan up in the sky. Frieza sticks out a single finger, hitting Gohan on the arm with a death beat. Then another, then another. Goku and Chi-Chi watch on in horror, with Piccolo there trying to help as well. But they can't do anything. Anytime they move, Frieza launches a compressed blast of air that knocks them all away. And finally, Frieza finishes off Gohan with a massive blast, killing him and completely wiping him off the face of the earth. Just around this time, Krillin's flying back in with a bag of Senzu beans. Not only was he sensing what's happening, but he actually got to see it close up too. But even scarier, he senses a weird new power. He looks down and sees. It's not coming from Piccolo, no. Goku and Chi-Chi. Their powers are rising, exponentially. And although they were just on the ground a moment ago, they stand up. Frieza watches from nearby too, seeing that they actually have a bit of fight left in them. How cute. They think they're going to avenge that brat. But Frieza's cockiness suddenly wears off. The ground begins shaking around everyone, with Piccolo watching on too. Back at Capsule Corp, Vegeta's sensing everything that's happening. This power, there's no way. The couple then lets out a scream, as they're both coated in the same golden aura. Now massively stronger, and with their hair turning gold. Frieza's absolutely speechless and terrified. No, it can't be. The one thing he feared most. He caused it to happen, and not just one of them, no. He brought two into existence. In front of him stands his worst nightmares. Two of the legendary Super Saiyans. And this is where we'll leave off for now. So, what did you guys think about this part? What do you think will happen next time as a consequence of this part? Leave all your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like. And let's try to hit that like goal from the beginning of the video so we can get another part of this series. If you haven't already, why not subscribe? As well as hitting the bell icon to get notified about any future parts of this What If, or any other videos that I upload on my channel. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.